Now I'm chatting to the Voice of Ireland finalist. It's Shane Mclaughlin here on the line.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Lovely to be speaking to you today.
Thanks very much, and lovely to be speaking to you also.
Now, Shane, you became very popular with the Voice of Ireland because you were a finalist on that. But tell us a little bit about your history before that all began and everything kicked off.
Well, I was in a band before the Voice of Ireland. We were called Red Light Inferno, and like I am now, we pursued the original songwriting path. So we had our own songs, and we had an EP out, and we had a mini album out, and we toured Ireland playing gigs all over, and just in and out of bands. And then that, like I said, that was the last band, so we gave a real push on that there, and just it was always about music, you know. So it came to a sense then where the band disbanded, and I thought, okay, well, what's the next step? What'll I do now? So it's funny because I actually applied for a visa, like most people in this country, to go to Canada.
Oh, right.
To get work, and the visa was granted and everything seemed to be sorted. And then it was funny, like I came back from, I think it was at a football match or else football training. I came back and there was an ad on the TV for the Voice of Ireland, and I was like, oh, my nieces and nephews all seem to be massive fans, and
yes,
you know, I'll check it out. I'll see what the application process involves. So yeah, I just sat down at the computer, and next thing I know, I have the full application filled in. I'm like, yeah, I may as well send it. So why not? It just seemed to go in leaps and bounds from there. Things just seemed to.
And so you pushed the visa to one side then?
Yeah, the visa's definitely gone to one side.
It's funny, isn't it, when everything is set out in front of you and then it just all kicks off at the one time.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's always the case. It's a feast or a famine. But no, I was very, very, very thankful that it worked out like that. You know, because the whole aspect of emigrating and that there sense, it was a complete unknown world. But
yeah,
something I was looking forward to. But then once I actually got accepted to the Voice, you know, there's so many different stages before you actually make it onto the TV screens, which people are familiar with.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of waiting and a lot of in between shows and going to different auditions. So
exactly,
it's still very unknown.
And I know the public, there is this stigma where people think people turn up and it just happens to them and they're lucky. Well, most of the people that I speak to have had a big music career before that even happens. And I know with yourself, you were in a band and you're plugging music for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not just something that you jump into and they immediately go, right.
Definitely not. We were on the cusp for many years. Like we were getting scouted, and we had good managers after us, and we recorded with the best producers in both Ireland and Northern Ireland, and we entered big competitions, and we were doing very well. But in a sense, whenever you do go to the Voice, the whole stigmata with it, it's just a singer, you know, anyone can do this, it's just a talent competition.
The Voice is different in that way.
Yeah, very different with aspects like, say, if you compare the Voice to, for instance, the X Factor, which most people are familiar with. Well, the Voice, you have to have a musical background, and you have to be able to prove that, you know, you have good musical ability in your application first.
Right.
You have to upload songs of yourself singing. You have to upload live videos of you actually performing. So it's not a case of just turning up. And then, like I said, you know, there's last year, which was season 2, there was anything up to 10,000 applications, and then, you know, 2,000 of us are seen then, and
wow.
And from there on, then, you know, it gets whittled down bit by bit.
And Shane, does music run in your family?
That's a question I get asked an awful lot.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it did, but no. Well, my older siblings, like 2 or 3 of my older siblings, might have played the tin whistle or something like that.
Yes.
Other than that, definitely not. No.
In the school band. Well, sometimes I think music can run in a family, but it's just having that opportunity.
Yeah,
and I think it's just having that outlet. And for you, obviously, something like getting on The Voice, it was an opportunity for you, and you just took it at that time. So it was a timing thing also.
Exactly. But yeah, to answer the other question that you said there about music running in the family, you know, it's funny because I've asked this question so many times in my family gatherings and all, like, as in people keep asking me where did it come from.
Yeah.
And an uncle of mine, funny, he used to, whenever he was in his UFD, Ulster tour buses used to go around the Atlantic Drive, which is beside my house, and he used to go up to the top of the road, and the bus would stop, and he would go on and sing 2 or 3 songs and get a few shillings or whatever it was for it, and, you know, and retreat back to the comfort of his own home. So
wow.
Maybe, I don't know, I guess.
Well, he definitely
must have been singing lullabies or something to me when I was younger.
He had to get it out of the system.
Yeah.
Well, he must have had some confidence. You probably get the confidence from there as well, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know where it comes from, but he's in the ear stick and attribute it to.
We'll put it down to him then. Yeah. Now, Shane, tell us about this new single. It sounds great, and it's called All That I Want.
Yeah, the new single is called All That I Want, and it's sort of an Irish love rock ballad, you know. It's got sort of elements of rock, even sort of, you know, people who listen to it will even think there's a slight taste of country in there because,
Yes.
you know, I wanted to come off The Voice and do something that basically people, you know, since The Voice, everywhere I've went, and be it out in public places when you're meeting and greeting people, the first thing they always do is, sing a song, and you're past the guitar. And I thought to myself, do you know what? And, you know, through band experience before, we'd write rock songs and very technical songs, and it was great crack. I loved it, but whenever people handed me a guitar and asked me to play a song, I physically couldn't because they were so intricate and there was so many different little niches and parts to them. So I thought, right, all that I want to be able to write this song so that if people hand me a guitar, I can play it, and it sounds the exact same way when me playing it on guitar as it does on radio.
Yes.
So it just went from there, and then I just added in some violins and some piano and just tweaked it and worked at it, and then there's, you know, I had a longer version, so I cut it down to a suitable version for radio as well. And just spent a long time working on it, you know. Since The Voice, I spent 2 or 3 months doing loads of charity work and then doing youth camps and stuff like that there, and still, you know, consciously promoting myself to a certain extent.
Yes.
But then made the conscious decision then to basically lock myself away for 3 months and just get this EP sorted and get everything done.
You just have to do that. You have to shut off the world and say, right.
Yeah, exactly, because the thing is too, if you do go out and start gigging and stuff, like, gigs are what people want to hear, so it's a case of you're basically a live mixtape, and whenever it goes to writing your own songs, that can, you know, it can completely throw you. You can be influenced by all different genres and styles, and then you come out with a product that sounds like so many different bands, which is really bad. Like,
and I'm sure you have to say to yourself, what do I want to do? You know, what do I really want to do? What sound do I actually really enjoy?
The thing is, you do have to write something you enjoy, but the other thing, you have to be non-selfish. You have to really write something that people are interested in buying, people are interested in listening to, because there's a lot of artists out there who write songs that are absolutely amazing songs and that they are really passionate and love themselves. But people just don't get into it because it's funny, that simple format of writing a song in a pop song format so that it sort of sticks in people's psyche. So that was constantly in my conscious.
Yes.
Writing this song, so I included loads of hooks and made this main theme of the song, which is All That I Want, and turned it to All I Want and throughout the version of the song, so that it's just a hook that runs through it, and people can, you know, when they're driving in their cars or they're listening to the radio in the kitchen and they've other things going on, they can still hear that hook and sort of hum along to it and sing along to it. So.
So it has something catchy. And is that out now, Shane?
That is being released on the 26th of January. 26th
of January, so not long. And we're actually going to give people a preview. Later on the show I'm going to play it.
Yes, I believe, which is absolutely brilliant. So
so people can get a taster.
You know, if people are interested, the song itself is just basically about love won and lost, so it's, you know, it's something everyone can relate to, which is quite interesting.
And what inspired you to write the song, Shane?
Yeah, just been from teenage years up until now, you know. The song itself, it's sort of, a melody comes to me first, because being a singer, so I hummed it, and then I was like, right, okay, I'll pick up the guitar, and just started a little intricate picking part, and then transversed it into a song, and thought, yeah, do you know what, I'll write this about love, because I had so many sort of lyrics wrote in the back catalogue, and changed it about, and then wrote it about, you know, not knowing what you have till it's gone, so the whole essence of hindsight is a beautiful thing, and you know, about love from a young age and not appreciating it at the time.
Yes.
And then looking back after everything had ended, you know, and your lives had taken a complete different path, and going, you know, that's why the lyrics in the song are like, romance at the time, speak of such, never once crossed my mind, but now it's all I want, you know. So it's kind of that whole hindsight aspect of really sort of having it but not knowing you have it and then longing for it.
Yes.
It's too late then, which is typical, you know.
That's life, that is life.
That's life.
But people can relate to that, so that's brilliant. Now, Shane, I know since The Voice, your life must have changed a little bit since then. How do you find that?
Yeah, it has. To be honest, The Voice was an absolutely amazing platform. But whenever you finish The Voice, you know, you're still you, and you think, all right, this is it, I'll just go home now and I'll work on my own songs and use that platform.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple, because you've actually become a public figure.
Exactly.
So you're at loads of public events, and for young people watching it, like anything from 15 years downwards, they are so engrossed in the show, like you become like such a figure to them, and like, you know, they're really inspired by you, so you have to be careful in your actions as well, and how you portray yourself in public.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah,
there's like people looking to you
as a sort of a role model, and then you get like kids in when they meet you and you're out and all, and they always want to come up and get photographs, which is, it's absolutely brilliant. And you know, then they ask for advice and they say they want to be singers, and that's one of the main reasons why I ran kids camp. You know, I ran a creative camp where kids could come in and work with me, and we all wrote a song together. Now, that was the end of the summer.
Right.
Wrote a song for them, which was about, summertime, and they gave me the themes, and there's some absolutely brilliant, really intelligent children there, and they threw up some fantastic ideas, and we just wrote a little song called Summertime, and it just worked really well.
Lovely, so nice. And kids always throw up great ideas, I'm sure. It was very interesting indeed.
Yeah, the rhymes that come up, as you know.
Good stuff. And I know that you were a special guest for the Christmas lights switch on in Donegal and Letterkenny this year. So more events for you.
I think I've done a good few. Now, the one in Letterkenny seemed to coincided with the first sort of gig of my band, first original gig for me to unleash the song. So I could see how they felt, to see how people responded to them. And the gig was on. It started at 8:30 and I was turning on the lights at 7:30. So it was a juggling between things, and because all the equipment was set up, I went down and I was like, is there any instruments here? And they were saying no. So I just decided, you know what, the best way to do this is just do it a cappella and get, all the crowd to join in. So I just sang, was handed the mic, and it just worked really, really well.
Good, and it was a great outlet. I mean, there's such huge gatherings for things like that, so I'm sure.
Massive gatherings, it was brilliant. And then that was Letterkenny, and then went to Donegal Town, and Donegal Town got up onto the stage, I kind of walked through the crowd, didn't really pay much attention because I was rushing. Like I just come from a gig to there, and then I was getting ready to go and do more promotion from there. And it's a case of you're constantly thinking of what you're doing. And I just got up on stage, and it was then I got to look around, and there was thousands of people there. Like it was huge. Yes.
Well, it's good practice. Great outlet there.
Yes.
Are you going to have a tour this year?
Yeah, that is the plan. Yeah, I'm releasing the EP at the start of March. Well, that's the designated time anyway. So it's I'm still just giving final tweaks to that there and just getting little bits of tracks mastered and in the final stages. So release that in March, and then the whole plan then is to really put some serious momentum into this and go touring, gig everywhere, go all over Ireland, and that's the part I really love, just going to different places and seeing different people and seeing how the songs go down and getting different reactions. So yeah.
And if people want to follow that and find out when your tour is starting, what can they do?
Check it out on my Facebook music page, which is Shane Mclaughlin Music, or else follow me on Twitter at Shane O'Macl.
All right, and people can go on there and they can follow exactly what you're doing and hear your great music. Actually, if people want to buy your music, Shane, can they download that?
Yes, it will be available to download on Monday the 26th of January on iTunes and Amazon and all other main music retailers. And
Shane, finally, how do you balance your music with other obligations like social life, family, everything going on around you? Yeah, that's that's a good question. Well, the good thing about having so many different things going on around you, family life and sort of rural life in Donegal, is that you get loads of writing influences and loads of power to put behind your lyrics, because there's so many different things going on at the one time. But when it comes to sitting down and writing a song, you basically just have to be, sort of selfish in a sense, and you have to just not attend things and not meet people and just lock yourself away. Like you said, it's something you have to do. Otherwise, you'll start a bit of a song today and you'll come back to it and you'll have a different idea in the meantime. And which was happening me at the start of writing this EP. I might have 15, 16 different songs coming at me at once, all in different parts. So then it just is, right, this isn't going to work. I'll never have proper songs and songs that people like. It'll sound bits of different songs. So you just have to sit down, lock yourself away, and just realise that you're there to do a job and just get on with what you want to do. And just once you have the song wrote, then it's not a case of, right, that's it, it's done. That's why I spent so long at it, though it's perfect. So when you go into studio, you make the most of your studio time. And you have the song the exact way people are going to hear it. Yeah. Well, Shane, it all sounds fantastic, and I'm sure your single is going to do really, really well. Thanks so much for speaking to us today. I really appreciate all that there. And again, thank you so much for having me on and for giving me this opportunity to plug my single and tell people what I've been at. Not a problem, Shane. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing lots more of your music in the future. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. And you can get a taster now of Shane's new song, All That I Want, which will be out on the 26th of January.
All that I want now is you here with me, 'cause it's so hard to breathe, and it's all I want, all I want. When I first seen those eyes before me, don't know how, but it changed me inside. Thinking back now on how you do touch never once crossed my mind. Now it's all I want, all I want. What I really want, what I really need, all I want now is you here with me. Thinking of the time when you were by my side, yeah. All I want now is you here with me. Can this be? Now we come to the path as it lays. You decide who'll be saved. Truth be told, now we already know fortune favors the brave. But it's all I want, all I want, yeah. What I really want, what I really need, all I want now is you here with me. Thinking of the time when you were by my side, yeah. All I want now is you here with me. All I want now is you here with me. All I want now is you here with me. All I want now is you here with me. All I want now is you here with me. All I want now is you here with me. 'Cause it's so hard to breathe. 'Cause it's so hard to breathe. Oh, it's so hard to breathe. It's just so hard to breathe.
Now I'm going to play a song by Scottish